next year. It's Christmas. Good evening and welcome to Deddington Church and to what would be normally the carols around the Christmas tree in the square. We obviously can't be doing that this year, so hopefully you are outside, or you will shortly be outside, to sing carols on your doorsteps and with your neighbours joining in. This might be a good time if you haven't already got a carol sheet. They are available on the church website. That's www.deddingtonchurch.org. Just scroll down the home page and you'll find the carol sheets there. They are in the right order, so hopefully all will be well. Hopefully you can avail yourself of, a glass of wine would be nice, but also if you've got some bells or something you can ring or jangle at some point in the proceedings, you can use those as well. So we now start our first carol, Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Peace on earth and
Fantastic, and welcome, of course, to Deddington Brass, who are going to accompany all our carols this evening. And thank you to those here in the choir who've just made my life complete by singing that descant. So I hope there are many more descants to come this evening. I gather that I know it's definitely running online now, but there may have been a few seconds delay, so hopefully you're all with us now. Usually, of course, we do ask you to name your favourite carols, and so we would normally just be able to play at a bit of a whim, but unfortunately we can't do that tonight. But those of you who've got my number, if you fancy texting and saying how you're actually spending this evening, I can pick those up while we're going through the evening. The idea is that every 5 minutes we will begin the next carol, and just so you're ready, the next carol will be Once in Royal David's City, and hopefully the bell will ring any second now. Yes, we have people in Hempton watching us. I know we've got people in Deddington watching us, so yes, it is spreading around. This is good. Can't hear anybody from outside singing yet, though. I think that would be quite nice if we could hear some of you actually singing. We've definitely got somebody in Cornwall watching us. So I knew we were famous. I told you. So yeah, it'd be nice to know how many of you Deddingtonians are actually listening to us. We're going to move on to our third carol in a second, and that is While Shepherds Watched Their Flocks by Night. I have heard a brilliant version of this on Ilkley Moor Bartat, but as I didn't prime Deddington Brass to try that one, perhaps we won't do that tonight. But maybe next year, chaps, when we can be back in the marketplace, we could give that one a go. So, While Shepherds Watched Their Flocks by Night, hopefully within less than a minute. This is great because actually I am getting lots of text, so lots of people are actually watching and got lots of those thumbs up signs, those emojis. So you're obviously sounding really good. And you'll be pleased to know, hi, family, that Stephen's watching with his mother and thoroughly enjoying it, so it's all good. And I do know somebody's got their fire pit out and the mulled wine going and thoroughly enjoying themselves. So it's sounding as if the village is really joining in, so thank you for that. Oh, here you go. Yes, somebody who's just said they're watching. Lovely service, now we're watching. We'd love to hear the classic Christmas song, if possible, 5 Gold Rings. Well, never know, another time maybe. If it's not on the carol sheet, unfortunately tonight we can't be singing it, but do enjoy watching it. So number 4 is probably my favourite of all our carols. O Little Town of Bethlehem. And we should be starting very soon. Beautiful, you're doing really well, this is great. So we have people in Somerset watching us. Amazing, this is great. I didn't realise it spread quite so far. So the next one I think is one that children might like to sing with us. It's the classic Away in a Manger. We have our crib down here. We did our crib service a bit earlier on today when we dressed the manger. So if you want to go and get maybe something to, I don't know, shake or something to sing along with, then please go and do that. This is quite a short carol as I'm looking at it. So we'll see how long it takes. We may do 2 renditions of this, possibly. We'll see. Perfect, that was beautiful, and it took slightly longer than I thought. While we're just waiting for the next one, you might be able to see, as you're watching online, the colours in the church are changing. This is huge thanks to Neil Skinner, who puts up these festive lights for us every year so that we can do our Advent lighting event. So I don't very often get a chance to thank people quite so publicly, but thank you, Neil. You've been brilliant this year. In a very difficult year, you managed to help us pull that one off. So well done and thank you. So we're going to liven things up again for our next carol. So I hope you're all in good voice. It's Ding Dong Merrily on High. And I'd quite like to hear the Glorias at the end of each verse coming in from outside. Again. Oh.
The singers behind have rehearsed this almost straight through. It's just got a little bit of a beat.
Oh, right. So if you're listening online, then you actually need to have to pay attention this time because it is slightly different arrangements. So no pressure there then, choir. Sing it out, sing it loud so that we can all hear this. That was fabulous. That was really, really good. I quite like this arrangement better than the usual one, so well done, thank you very much. So a bit of a catch-up on who's doing what. There is a family in Hempton who've just had their first baby, actually. I say just, I think, I'm sure he'll tell me in a minute. Probably about 3 or 4 months old, I think, called Ethan. And they've sent me a photo of them watching us. so the whole family's there sitting in front of the computer and they're watching us, so that's quite sweet really. And then a friend of mine in Devon apparently is also watching. He's just sent in 12 weeks on Sunday. That's our youngest fan, isn't it really? 12 weeks on Sunday. So welcome Ethan, it's lovely to have you watching us. So the instructions for the next carol. The next carol is God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. And there is, I'm told, a short break between verses 4 and 5.
Like the last one, in that it's a slightly different arrangement, but there is actually an extra verse, verse 5, and then there will be another verse. You can choose any verse you like to sing. And then we go through the hymn. So there will be the choir again, they've rehearsed it, so there will be just a musical gap between the 4th and the 5th.
Okay, so hopefully you heard that. There will be a musical gap between the 4th and the 5th verse. But as you've got all the words and the choir are here to lead us, we should be fine, I hope. So if you haven't already done it, top up your glasses of wine and enjoy God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. Actually, that's what I'm missing, isn't it? I'm usually the one with the mulled wine. advantages to not being out in the cold around the Christmas tree, because you probably couldn't have made that quite as brilliant as it was. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. So now we're going to move on to another carol, the first Noel. In the meantime, we actually have somebody who is a friend of mine who I had no idea was watching. He's watching us online from France.
Yay!
Yeah. So that is really cool. Is there anything I should know about this verse? Is there no? This is as it is it? Excellent. Oh. Okay, so in a moment when the bell rings, the first Noel. Oh, have we? Oh, okay. amazing as ever, but we're going to have to go straight into number 9 because the bell will already have gone. So, Silent Night. Beautiful, thank you. I suspect the bell might already have gone, but if not, our next hymn, number 10, we're whizzing through these. Number 10 is O Come, All Ye Faithful. And somebody has just texted me to say that we are making their Christmas. So, job well done, I think. So let's move on. I think the bell must have gone. So, O Come, All Ye Faithful. Oh no, there it is. Oh, we're so on time. Fantastic. And of course, we can't sing the last verse really until it is actually Christmas Day. So we are moving on now to somebody. Robin, you wanted a jolly Christmas song. You're going to get one now. We're going to do a little bit of jingle bells. So have we got some bells to be, playing around? Yes? One bell. Oh, okay. I thought I saw some bells somewhere. Can I have some bells? That would be easy. I feel like I should be joining in. Thank you. Come on, somebody else can have some bells. There you go. Who else wants bells? There you go. You're never too old for bells, I'm sorry. Okay, so number 11 on our song sheet, Jingle Bells. There you go. Fabulous. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. We have one more to go, but I'm just going to say just a few things. It's been a really rough year. It's been a very hard year for so many people. And we all hoped it would be okay by Christmas, and of course, it isn't. On Boxing Day, we here in Oxfordshire go into Tier 4. So make the most of the Christmas that you will have. Make sure you all stay safe. Do what you can, but within the regulations, obviously. But we do wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very much better 2021. So may the joy of the angels, the eagerness of the shepherds, the perseverance of the wise men, the obedience of Joseph and Mary, and the peace of the Christ child be yours this Christmas. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit be with you all, and those who you love and care for, today and always. And so we are going out with that classic of all Christmas songs, because we really do wish you a Merry Christmas. Fabulous. My thanks to Deddington Brass, to our choir up here, to all of you outside who've been singing along, and to those of you who are sitting at home, and particularly to those of you a long way away who have joined in and enjoyed it. We really do wish you all a very Merry Christmas and good night. Of course. Thank you again, Deddington Brass. Thank you to our bell ringers who've just appeared over there. Thank you very much. To our singers who also apparently double up as dancers. So yes, Merry Christmas and good night. Thank you.